Oh, pretty sunset. I think we're gonna have to appreciate this. Pink. I wanted to share that. Hi guys, it's Little Gem from Little Gem's Adventures. I'm now going to talk you through some activities that obviously I planned on doing because they were in my dream book. I'll let you know what I did in each place. First up, Auckland. This was actually the first place that we stopped off at, but we did nothing. We did nothing because we actually went up to Paihia straight after that, and we knew that Auckland would be our last stop in New Zealand when we met up with our parents for Christmas. In Auckland, obviously, we explored the Auckland CBD, we hiked up Mount Eden, we also travelled out a little bit further in Auckland to go to the Whytu ranges. I may have pronounced that incorrectly. There we saw some black sand beaches, and we also saw the Kitty Falls, where you can actually go to the bottom and swim in the kind of pool to the Kitty waterfall, and also you can climb to the top as well. We also took a ferry over to Devonport, and we were really lucky because we saw killer whales there. If you're ever going to spend Christmas in Auckland, you need to go to the beach. That is where everyone was. Something that I had down for Auckland was the Rotorua Island. We didn't actually make it there because we didn't book, and I think there weren't any ferries for the day that we wanted to go because it was around Christmas. That's where a lot of rare and endangered native species of birds are. Next up, we went to the absolute north of the Bay of Islands and went to Paihia. Paihia was really nice because it included the Cape Reinga trip, where you see the Pacific meet the Tasman Sea with the lighthouse. We also went to Otterhey Island, which had really lovely views of hiking routes there as well, and you could spend all day there. We went to Hot Water Beach, where you could literally dig yourself a hot pool and sit in the sand, and it was nice and warm, although don't dig too far because you will burn your feet. We then went to Whytu, where we did black water rafting. That is not what I expected it to be. I kind of envisaged us going in the glowworm caves in this little boat and just relaxing in this rubber ring and going down essentially a lazy river, but for the one that we did, we actually basically jumped off mini waterfalls and crawled through the cave. It's not what I expected, but I did love it and it was amazing, and I would highly recommend. Next up was Rotorua, where we spent a week. We went to the Tamaki Maro village, and again I would highly recommend, and I would recommend staying over and persuading all of your bus to stay over as well, because you get to do extra activities, you get breakfast, you get afternoon tea, you get to know the Maori guys a lot more, and you get hot tubs. We did also go to Hobbiton. We also went luging, which is so much fun. We did lots of different walks in the redwoods. We also paid extra to do the redwood tree top walk, which again was really pretty because everything was all lit up at night. We went to a kiwi hatchery and actually saw a little chick that was only a day old. There were lots of lovely markets in Rotorua, and we also went to the Whytu Wonderland, which is the geothermal pools. You could also go to some hot springs there, but you had to actually pay for them. Next up was Taupo. We obviously saw Hooker Falls. We went and looked at the botanical gardens. We hired out some bikes for probably the most crazy bike ride I have ever done. If you're an avid bike rider, then I definitely recommend. If you're not, like me, stick to the road. We also hiked Mount Tauranga. Unfortunately, in Taupo we didn't get to hike the Tongariro crossing because it was closed because of loads of snow and really high winds. We went to some natural hot pools in Taupo, which were really nice, and you could actually swim up to where the river was, and it would get slightly colder and then go back a little bit and it get warmer again. And we also took a boat ride to the Maori carving. We had pizza and we had wine on the boat as well, which was a bonus. There were lots of lovely markets in Taupo. There were loads of street paintings that you could go around. Next up was River Valley, and in River Valley you had to do the white water rafting. It was absolutely amazing. I've never done rafting before and I would definitely do it again. You had grade 3 to grade 5 rapids, and it is a must do. Next up was Wellington, where we also spent a week there. We went to the Tekapo Museum, which is free. It is a fantastic Anzac War museum there, which I'm not even going to say about it, you just have to see it. You could definitely spend a whole day there. We hiked Mount Victoria, which isn't much of a mountain, but you get a view of Wellington. We also went to the Whytu workshop. There were lots of lovely markets in Wellington. Next up, Abel Tasman. This is where I did my skydive. I would highly recommend doing a skydive here because you can see the North Island, you can see the east and west of the South Island, you can see the national park, and also you can see the sea. So you basically get everything New Zealand has to offer in one skydive. And obviously you have to visit the national park. Westport, obviously there is surfing, and we stayed at Basil's hostel, which actually was my favourite hostel in New Zealand. It was really cute and quirky, and it had that lovely surfers vibe, and the staff there was so friendly. We all made food together and shared all our food, and it was just a lovely experience. Lake Mahina. This is kind of an exclusive place for a Kiwi experience where we have our dress up party, which was loads of fun. Franz Josef. Now you have to do the heli hike here. It is absolutely amazing. I would recommend doing more days in Franz Josef because the only thing with the heli hike is that it can be a little bit unreliable. I know people who were there for 3 days and they didn't actually manage to do a heli hike because of the weather. Their heli hike was cancelled, and then it was cancelled again the next day, and then the next day that they rebooked it as well. So that was really unfortunate for them, and I would really recommend, if you're going to do the heli hike, book it for the first slot. Wanaka. Obviously you have to see the Wanaka tree. It was quite flooded when we were there, but you could still see it and it was still pretty, especially with the mountains in the background. And you have to hike Roy's Peak. The view was amazing. It's actually quite a hard hike, but it was fun. Queenstown, there's quite a lot to do in Queenstown. It has really good nightlife, it has really good food areas. You have to get a Ferg. We went to the Ferg bakery, Ferg ice cream, and obviously a Ferg burger. We went quite a few times. We also went luging, and we went into the kind of Queenstown park and went frisbeeing. We cycled around Queenstown. We also hiked up Ben Lomond, which, oh, that was hard. That took us 8 hours and it was exhausting, but I would recommend. Milford Sound is definitely a must. Again, that is quite weather dependent because if it's cloudy, then obviously it's going to be rubbish. If it's really windy and really rainy, then it's not going to run. So you've kind of got to pick your days for that. We were very lucky, we had a very clear day, but people who went 2 days before us had an awful day and they couldn't even see a lot of the waterfalls because it was so cloudy. Lake Tekapo, you have to see the Church of the Good Shepherd. You also have to do stargazing in Lake Tekapo. I don't necessarily mean by a stargazing tour, but just go outside in the middle of the night at like midnight and look up at the stars because, oh, it was spectacular. We also went to the hot pools there as well, which were lovely, and we hiked Mount John, which again isn't much of a hike. Christchurch, I really liked Christchurch. That actually had a lot of street art, just like Taupo did. We went around Christchurch on the tram. We also went to a market. We sunbathed in the botanical gardens and went round the botanical gardens. We went punting, and we also went to the High Eatery, which, oh my goodness, has so much good food there. So definitely eat out a little bit in Christchurch. And Kaikoura. Kaikoura is where we swam with dolphins, and that is a must do. We did it at sunrise, where I actually expected it to be sunrise on the boat. It was sunrise when we were walking to the centre, but it was a lovely sunrise, and we swam with so many dolphins, so that is a must do. You have to do it. We also did a sunset seal kayaking tour, where you had a tour on pedal kayaks, which I didn't know were a thing, and went to find some seals, and you actually sat on the sea whilst there was sunset as well, which was gorgeous. That's all I have for you for now. I hope you have enjoyed the video. I hope I've given you a few pointers for New Zealand and what I found really interesting and what I would definitely recommend. See you next time. Bye.